Okay, welcome. This is kind of just an addendum to what you're reading through the text this week, but I really want to talk about some current forces at play in our environment, and these are the things that I've kind of picked out that I see immediately that need to address the needs of our curriculum and the needs of our students, and that our curriculum must address. And it's even moved beyond the students. It's really the workforce and our economic success. So, looking at automation um, and globalization, workplace change, demographic change, we're going to address personal risk and responsibility too, even all the way down to the individual. So, let's do this and move right into automation. So, looking here at this picture, we see that what used to be manual labor, routine labor, we see machines taking place. Computers have changed the demands of our workforce. We no longer need routine manual labor. Machines do this now. Let's consider the last time you scheduled a flight or a hotel. Do you talk to anyone? No, literally, you could buy your airplane ticket, schedule it, buy it, download it, and not see an individual until you check in to your flight. Not even checking into your flight, scanning your ticket to get onto the flight. Might be the first time you actually have to talk to somebody if you move through security with the furrowed brow that I do. Um, Considering how you pay your bills, do you call the company anymore? And if you do, are you talking to a human being as soon as you call that number? No, things have been automated. Um, any job where information can be digitized and key tasks can be broken down into a set of predictable rules, it is done now by machines. So what? We have to prepare our students to start thinking as expert thinkers. Um, if we look at this shifting demand market, we go from the blue collar workers, and not suggesting that that's routine manual labor, but a lot of our blue collar jobs have been lost to automation. If we look at the political climate now, where Trump has promised to bring back jobs, a lot of those jobs in the industry have been lost through automation and not through um, companies necessarily moving across the Great Divide. Certainly, that's part of it, but not all of it. So, if we look at the shifting um, in the job market, we really need our students to be uh, expert thinkers. We also need them to be able to speak critically and be able to communicate through complex interactions with other people, either to acquire information, to explain it, and to persuade. That's why you see this shift up into technicians, professions, managers, and administrators. Looking at job tasks, as they're changing across the economy, um, looking at our routine thinkers, our manual labor here, the constant decline in that, and the constant increase in this expert thinking and this complex communication. Globalization, if you go back to Friedman, and there's a quote here from Friedman on the next slide. Work can increasingly be done anywhere, and there are more workers who can do it. If we look at technological advances through the internet, interactive software, digital technologies, communication technologies, it allows us to work in separate areas, individual areas, but that work is typically, if it's project based, it's carved up and shipped around the globe to different people and then put back together. Historic political and economic changes around the globe freed up nearly 1 billion European, Chinese, Indian, all who could work potentially to do that work, that separated work. And so it is through this globalization that we have to help our students become expert thinkers and complex communicators. So consider these two quotes, and just I'll be quiet here for a second here. Um, Thinking about your students, consider these. How will our curriculum, and even better, how will your classroom prepare them for what's happening inside these quotes? I forgot in the video you could speed up or slow down or pause it, so I should have just told you to pause it for a second. But anyway, um, looking at the other element, the workforce change. Major changes in the workplace have happened. Companies are focusing more on providing information than things. Companies are flatter with less hierarchy and less direct supervision. Employees have more autonomy and responsibility. Work is much more collaborative, and jobs are less routine, less predictable, and less stable. So all of that in the workforce has changed. And are we preparing our students with our curriculum for this workforce? Taking a closer look at growth of the information service economy, and I can speak directly to Erie and the decline in mass production and things like the hammer mill paper mill is gone, and things that GE was doing is gone, and we are moving to a more informational society here in Erie. We are adapting finally. A long time coming, but looking from 1967 to 1997, I haven't updated it to 2017 as of yet, but we know that this is an increase and a decrease in material products, material services, and an increase in information products and information services. Okay, let you just kind of resonate there for a second. More collaboration in the workplace. What stood out to me here is that the use of self-managing work teams rose from 28% in 1988. In 2005, it was 65%. Self-managing work teams. So I mentioned earlier about this less hierarchy that we see in our workforce, where it's flatter and there's less direct supervision. Another statistic to actually bring you home to that. Here's another graphic I'd like you to look at. This is about job satisfaction, and the statements are down below, so I'll let you put it on pause there and really take a look at that. I think that's very interesting when you look at the work I do is meaningful to me. Went from 1977 from 27% all the way up to 66% in 2002. I think that speaks to the type of work that we're doing now. Instead of a routine dissatisfaction in our job, we are having a higher satisfaction in our job because we're being more collaborative, we're being more creative, and we're using those skills of deeper thought and deeper communication. Another impact, and we see this in our population, and directly here in Erie with our immigrant population or refugee population coming in from a wide variety of areas, up to nearly 20,000 residents in our Erie city are immigrants to the United States. And so we are seeing a huge demographic change. In one of our local high schools, there are 32 languages spoken. And so with that more diverse population, we're seeing a power shift almost. And we might see a little retraction here with the new presidency and a reaction to this maybe. I'm diverging into something a little bit deeper here, but the entire U.S. population in about 30 years, the current majority is going to be the current minority, where the minorities will be the U.S. majority. So what? What are the implications? Schools will need to be able to educate a more diverse student population. We need to be really focused in on culturally responsive teaching, and that means our curriculum needs to be culturally responsive too, to offer those opportunities. Students will need to be prepared to interact in a more diverse society and collaborate in a more diverse work environment. A more diverse U.S. society, which will be reflected in the workplace, but also an international collaboration and being able to work with global work teams. And looking at personal risk, I'm going to move through this quickly because I'm running out of time. Let you look at that. So what? So where are we now? When at personal risk and responsibility, we are now planning our own, choosing our own healthcare systems. We're actually planning for our own retirement as companies take less and less. So what? So what differences are there now?